We have seen the importance of our farmers and fishermen. They work hard to keep the supply of food going amid the COVID-19 pandemic. With the quarantine measures slowing down the transport of goods, the Agriculture Department is finding ways to support our producers. And the agency says more than 5 billion pesos worth of food crops were sold to consumers thanks to its programs, including the recently launched online marketplace. How else can we support local farmers in the wake of the health crisis? Let's find out from Rachel Renucci Tan, co-owner and president of Chen Agventures Incorporated. Thank you so much for joining us, Rachel. They are, of course, also our heroes in this ongoing pandemic, our farmers and our fishermen. How have you been able to help them during this crisis?
Yes, thank you, Rico, for having me tonight. Most importantly is that in spite of everything, in spite of COVID, in spite of the fact that we have limited mobility, we continue to purchase the palay of all our farmers across Leyte at a prevailing market rate. And at the moment, the price of palay is spiking. It's going up quite high. It's at 18 pesos per kilo because the exports from Vietnam have ceased. So it has reduced the supply in the country. Whilst it's very good for the farmers, it has an impact on us as local producers because 18 pesos per kilo of palay means when we process the rice, sa palay pa lang, it's already 36 pesos per kilo.
It doubles.
And to give you perspective, imported rice per kilo is, with the taxes already, is 31 pesos per kilo. Before COVID, it was 26 pesos per kilo. That's bigas na. That's already rice. Whereas for us, just the palay alone is 36 pesos per kilo. In spite of that, we continue to purchase the palay from our farmers in the hopes that we can, help them through this pandemic.
Absolutely. And we thank you for supporting our farmers during this challenging times, Rachel. But going and planning in the medium to long term, how should we really be helping our farmers apart from getting the produce to markets? We have to also give them capital and technology because many of them are in debt.
Correct. So, in fact, what we really need to achieve for our farmers is increased productivity, not higher palay prices. Remember that higher palay prices will hurt the Filipino consumers and make us rely on cheap, low-quality imported rice, which is what we are doing today. So imagine the rice at 26 to 31 pesos per kilo from Vietnam and Thailand. Imagine the quality of that. That's rice that the Vietnamese people will not eat, the Thai people will not eat. But that's the rice we have in the country when we have exceptional local rice. In fact, Dalisay rice, which is our rice, 1/3 best rice in the world, a few months ago, which proves that we can produce very high quality rice in this country and also increase the productivity of our farmers so that we do not have to be reliant on imported rice.
Because Rachel, now we are the biggest importer of rice in the world, even bigger than China, when in the 60s we used to be the biggest exporter of rice. And as you mentioned, our farmers have to be more productive. What do you think then should be the policy of government? Because currently we're still importing a lot of rice.
Yes.
And we have to also support our farmers. If we have both, then we could have an oversupply of rice.
Yes. I think that right now there's the RCEF program that the Department of Agriculture has launched. It's a great program of providing assistance to the farmers. But beyond that, beyond simple dole-outs, we really need to be able to get them out of debt. And how do we get them out of debt? Is by increasing their productivity. It's by working with private groups like ourselves that provide high quality inputs to the farmers at very low interest rate. So we provide seeds, which right now the RCEF will provide for free. The government provides for free. But beyond the seeds, we need to provide high quality fertilizers, pest management system, and mechanization. So that's what we've been providing for thousands of farmers in Leyte. And with this and with constant monitoring of their output and their productivity, we can increase their output, which we've done from 40 to 50 cabans per hectare to currently an average of 150 cabans per hectare, 120 to 150. So it really takes, I think, the involvement of the private sector to be able to achieve this increase in productivity, because simply receiving support from the government could turn out to be dole outs, and that, as we know, will not increase the productivity of the farmer. So there has to be very strong support for producers like ourselves, because if we are not supported either by government, LGU, and we just have low productivity for the farmers and high palay prices with cheap imported rice, producers like ourselves will also get wiped out. So the government needs to support local producers like ourselves, maybe by regulating the price of palay so it doesn't get out of control. Because like I said,
Right.
if the palay price is 18 pesos per kilo, that's already 36 pesos, whereas imported rice is 23 pesos per kilo, 31 pesos per
Right.
kilo. Yes.
Rachel, we thank you for everything that you're doing for the Filipino people and for the farmers. Rachel Renucci Tan. And straight ahead on the final